My girlfriend keeps using my credit card and says the charges are gifts from the universe.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We really unpack some wild situations here, don't we?
We certainly do.
And today you're joining us for a look at a Reddit post that's, honestly, it's kind of unbelievable. I've titled, "My girlfriend keeps using my credit card and says the charges are gifts from the universe."
Right. Just let that sink in for a second. Gifts from the universe.
So our mission basically is to get into this, understand what's really going on, see what we can pull out about boundaries, money, maybe even how spiritual ideas can get twisted.
And it's important to note, this is from a real person. The user, a throwaway coffee junkie 92 on ear relationships. So this isn't hypothetical, it's someone's actual life.
Yeah, it gives it that raw edge. So the setup is this. You've got a guy, 32, dating Anna. She's 29. Been together about a year.
Okay.
And at first, she sounds great. Smart, gorgeous, into all this holistic stuff. Crystals, manifesting, vision boards, the kind with fancy trips, luxury bags.
Things like that. Sounds kind of fun, maybe a bit quirky.
Exactly. He thought it was just, harmless fun. Well, until the manifesting started happening with his money.
Ah, there's the turn. So it wasn't just visualizing anymore.
Not quite. The first time, it was a Lululemon charge, like $184. He texts her thinking, okay, accident, right?
Makes sense.
But she replies, "No, babe, the universe wanted me to have new yoga pants. And since we're together, the universe provided through you."
Wow. Okay. So not an accident.
He actually laughed. He thought she had to be joking.
You might initially. It's so out there, but that's a big boundary cross right away, isn't it? Using spirituality to justify taking money.
And it didn't stop. Next thing, $312 at Sephora. Her reasoning. "Babe, the universe just flowed abundance through you. That means we're aligned."
Aligned. So now he's part of the universal ATM machine.
Pretty much. He tried talking to her gently like, "Hey, could you maybe ask first?"
A very reasonable request.
Her response, "You're thinking too small. When you limit abundance, you block blessings for both of us."
Oh, invoking scarcity mindset. That's a classic deflection tactic, turning his valid concern into his spiritual failing. It's textbook gaslighting almost.
It really feels like it. So they talk again. She says she understands. Seems okay.
Okay, maybe some progress.
2 days later, boom, $650 spa package charge.
So much for understanding.
And then, the big one, the breaking point, $2,187.45, Louis Vuitton.
Whoa. Okay, that's not minor. What was the excuse this time?
Get this. "I felt the universe telling me this bag was meant for me. And you wouldn't believe it. I had your card in my wallet, so it was obviously a sign."
A sign. Her having his card without permission is a sign. That's a deliberate twisting of reality, not just some quirky belief. It's justifying theft, basically.
It feels like it crossed a line into something else entirely. So financially, this adds up fast. We're talking over $3,800 in 1 month.
More than his rent, he said.
Yeah, more than his rent. Just gone.
So what could he even do at that point?
He felt totally stuck. His only move, canceled the card, reported it lost.
Drastic, but honestly, probably necessary given the pattern.
But then her reaction. She texts him saying she feels abandoned and financially unsafe now.
Financially unsafe. After spending nearly $4,000 of his money, the disconnect is staggering.
While he's literally eating peanut butter sandwiches because his budget's blown.
It brings up that core question he had. Does she actually believe this universe stuff is real? Or is she just using it? It's hard to know someone's true intent.
Yeah, you can't really know for sure. But the impact is the same, isn't it?
Yeah.
And her final text, it was almost like a threat.
What did it say?
"The universe will punish you if you block our abundance."
Punish him for stopping the unauthorized spending. That's deeply manipulative.
It really is.
But the most crucial takeaway, the thing the poster himself eventually landed on, is so simple but so true.
What's that?
The universe doesn't pay your credit card bill. You do. End of story. Someone else's belief system doesn't change that financial reality.
Absolutely. It just screams how vital clear boundaries and, frankly, mutual respect are in any relationship, especially around money.
Definitely.
So it leaves you thinking, right, what responsibility do we have maybe to challenge beliefs, even sincerely held ones, when they start seriously messing with shared reality, especially the financial kind?
That's a really good question to ponder. How far does acceptance go when the impact is this significant?
Something to chew on.
Neighbor stole my package. Now he owns a very personal adult toy.
Sometimes the biggest headaches, they aren't, huge global things. They're the small stuff.
Oh, definitely. Everyday life stuff.
Exactly. Like a package just vanishing from your porch. But this story, it's more than just that.
Right.
It's a deep dive into a really unusual kind of, petty revenge.
Petty revenge.
Yeah.
I like that framing.
Yeah. So we're unpacking the, let's say, surprising psychology behind it.
And maybe even the strategic thinking a bit.
Totally. And it all comes from just one single Reddit thread. Pretty amazing.
It really is. And the setting is just perfect somehow.
Where are we talking?
A quiet suburban place outside Columbus, Ohio. Duplexes, active HOA. You get the picture.
Oh, I get the picture. Prime territory for neighborhood drama.
Precisely.
So our main person here, the protagonist, they get almost everything delivered, like so many of us do, right?
Groceries, clothes, the usual.
The usual, yeah. And, sometimes more private purchases.
Oh.
In this case, it was a $79.99, so like $80 for a high-end adult toy.
Okay. And crucially, promised in discreet packaging.
Yes, discreet packaging. So you know the drill. You get the delivered notification on your phone.
Yep. You head to the door.
Nothing. It's just gone.
Ugh, the worst feeling. But it gets interesting fast, right?
Very fast. Because they look down the street and just 2 doors down, there's the neighbor, Rick. He's outside.
Huh?
And on Rick's porch, there's a small brown Amazon box.
Looking suspiciously like the missing one.
You got it. Now, this Rick,
Yeah.
he's not just any neighbor.
No, this is where the history comes in.
He's the self-appointed street sheriff, apparently.
The type who complains about parking.
Parking, how you sort your recycling. Seriously. Even string lights left up too long after Christmas.
Wow. Okay, so there's definitely some friction there already.
Big time. So imagine this. Your personal, fairly expensive item is missing. You're pretty sure Rick has it. What do you do?
Confront him. Seems obvious, maybe.
Right. But confronting him about this specific item felt, awkward. Calling the police. Even more so.
Yeah, I can see that. So what was the alternative?
Wait. Just wait.
Interesting. Why?
Well, it became even clearer when they later saw the box again. Through Rick's window.
He took it inside.
Yep. Still unopened, sitting right there on his coffee table. And get this. The shipping label, with our protagonist's name, clearly visible.
Oh, wow. So he knows it's not his.
Exactly. And that's where the strategy comes in, the inaction.
Instead of going over there.
They did nothing. They knew Rick, knew he was, quote, painfully nosy.
Always poking into other people's business.
Right. So the plan became, let Rick open it.
Let him open it.
Let him open it.
Yeah.
Let the street sheriff, the moral compass, satisfy his own curiosity, thinking it's something cool or valuable.
Only to find, well, not what he expected.
Exactly. Let Pandora's box basically open itself. Brilliant.
It's devious. So did it work? The payoff.
Oh, the payoff. 3 days later, protagonist is outside. Rick comes storming out of his house.
Right.
Red. Like, the description was sunburn meets high blood pressure red.
Oof. Not a good look.
He's on the phone fuming, and they overhear him saying things like, sick joke,
Uh-huh.
and not even legal.
Well, the irony. He stole the package.
Right. You can just imagine him trying to figure out who sent it to him.
The mental gymnastics must have been something.
So the final scene in this little drama, that night, the item itself was found out of the box, sitting right on top of Rick's black garbage bin outside.
Just out there.
Looking, and I quote, lightly handled.
Ew. Okay, let's maybe not dwell on that specific detail.
Agreed. But the story doesn't quite end there. There's a ripple effect. A week later, Rick is apparently going door to door.
Asking what?
Asking if anyone else got any inappropriate deliveries lately.
In no way. He's trying to find fellow victims.
Seems like it. He even wanted to bring it up at the next HOA meeting.
Oh, that is priceless. He created his own scandal.
And our protagonist, they're planning to attend the HOA meeting and bring cookies.
Perfect. Just perfect.
Yeah.
So, stepping back, what does this tell us?
Well, this whole deep dive, it really highlights the power of indirect action, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It's like weaponized patience.
Yeah.
It's the direct confrontation.
Which might have just led to denial arguments.
Right. You allow the other person's own flaws, in this case, nosiness, maybe a bit of self-righteousness, to become the mechanism of their own downfall.
It's like letting them walk into their own trap, self-inflicted consequences.
Exactly. Their own curiosity led to their own acute embarrassment.
So maybe the takeaway for you listening is sometimes the smartest move, the best, quote, revenge, isn't loud.
Sometimes it's just letting someone open their own Pandora's box.
Literally, in this case.
So here's something to think about. In this whole suburban saga, what really strikes you about how doing nothing directly became the most powerful strategic play?
How I accidentally scammed my way into free housing.
Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine, just for a moment, you're living in a city where average rent is, say, $1,800 a month, but you pay absolutely nothing, zero. And somehow it's completely legal. That's the pretty wild ride we're taking you on.
Yeah, it's quite a story. Our deep dive comes from this really fascinating thread on Reddit. It was posted by a user unthrowawayanthak84. And it's their first-hand account, basically stretching from late 2019 right up to now. It details how they sort of accidentally fell into the situation that honestly sounds almost too unbelievable to be true.
Right. So our mission here for this deep dive is really to understand the, incredible journey. It's almost this bureaucratic odyssey. It took the person in this story from, struggling financially to legally living completely rent-free. So when this started, they were 34 years old, just trying to make ends meet. They had an apartment, $1,150 a month, which is already pretty steep. And they knew if they had to move, it'd be like $1,500 minimum.
Mm-hmm. Steep for sure. They worked for a logistics company. And, income barely covered the rent, running an old 2008 Corolla, maybe take out sometimes.
Exactly. So where do we even start tracing how this happened? These administrative cracks that just opened up.
Well, it really kicked off with something pretty normal, or seemed normal. November 2019, a letter gets slipped under their door. Standard stuff. Looks official, says a new property management company is taking over. New payment details effective January 1st. But what's really fascinating here is how quickly the supposedly official communication just dissolved, turned into chaos.
Okay, yeah, this is where it gets really interesting. So our listener, they go online, log into the new portal, right? Ready to set up their account, pay rent, expecting to see their name, their lease details. Instead, their unit number, 4B, it's listed as tenant. Vacant.
Vacant, just like that. No name, no balance due, nothing. Lease info, totally blank. Imagine trying to pay your rent and the system basically tells you, nope, nobody lives there.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, that vacant status, that was obviously a massive red flag. So our listener does the sensible thing, immediately calls the number provided on the letter, gets this very harried-sounding lady named Marlene, explains, look, I live in Unit 4B, I need to pay my rent.
And Marlene says?
Marlene asks for move-in paperwork that the old landlord, this guy Stan, was supposed to have provided. She promises, I'll look into it, I'll get back to you. But then weeks pass. Silence. And that portal still stubbornly says vacant. I mean, this initial breakdown, it just highlights how fragile record-keeping can be during a handover if it's not done right.
So January 1st rolls around, no rent gets charged. Our listener, smartly, they put the money aside, figured it was just a temporary glitch, to get sorted. But then February comes, same thing. March, still nothing. That's when they probably started thinking, okay, this isn't just some small hiccup. And then the pandemic hit, and, the whole world, including rentals, basically just froze.
Right. And that period of just radio silence, especially with the pandemic disrupting everything, it really exposed the cracks in what seems like a pretty shaky system there. I mean, for many businesses, a transition glitch is maybe a short-term issue. But here, it was like the first sign of a complete administrative vacuum, just emptiness. And that really set the stage for what happened next.
So by April, our listener is understandably getting a bit uneasy, right? Decides to dig a little deeper. Checks the county's property tax website. Confirms Stan, the old landlord, still owns the building. No sale recorded, which means that new management company, it was basically a phantom, just didn't exist.
That's totally so. A total ghost in the mission. It's bizarre. So they tried texting Stan, tried calling him, phone number disconnected. No replies to anything. He just vanished.
Okay, so Stan's gone. The new company isn't real. What do you even do then?
Well, this is a pivotal moment, isn't it? The realization that the landlord is gone, the management is non-existent. It really shows the system's vulnerabilities. Now, the maybe most logical step might have been trying harder to track Stan down, or perhaps more securely putting the rent money into an escrow account, a neutral place. But our listener, they decided to just wait, keep living there quietly, see what happens. And that decision, maybe unintentionally, just blew a hole in a systemic flaw.
And then the truly bizarre part, literally nothing happened. Can you imagine that feeling?
Yeah.
That knot in your stomach, slowly loosening over 6 months, realizing this isn't a temporary glitch, it's freedom. They actually started using that rent money, paid off their car, got a new laptop, even ordered sushi, said their bank account stopped looking like a horror movie.
I bet. And a full year goes by. Still nothing. Stan's mail, water bills, tax stuff that had been piling up, then it just stopped coming all together. At this point, our listener was like 99% sure Stan had either died or just completely skipped town.
Okay, but wait, there's more, right? This isn't even the end.
Not even close. Here's the ultimate kicker. In 2021, they get another letter. This time, it's official from the city. Turns out the building had been acquired by the city. Why? Because Stan hadn't paid his property taxes. For ages, presumably. But instead of kicking everyone out...
They didn't get evicted.
Nope. The building became part of some low-income housing program, and their Unit 4B, was officially assigned to them, with the rent set at $0. $0 for an indefinite program duration.
Indefinite $0 rent. That's unreal.
Completely legal. It wasn't just luck, though it felt like it. It was this strange, almost perfect storm of administrative chaos leading to this... highly unusual, yet totally legitimate outcome.
Wow, what an incredible journey. From just a baffling mix-up with paperwork to this unimaginable result, free rent indefinitely. I mean, this story, it's more than just free rents, isn't it? It's like a profound look at how these systemic weaknesses, these vulnerabilities, can create these completely unexpected opportunities when records fail, when oversight just disappears.
Exactly. And our listener, they admit to feeling, maybe 30% proud of figuring it out or surviving it. But 70% still kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop, waiting for karma, feeling guilty sometimes, but mostly just feeling incredibly lucky.
And despite the free rent, it's not like they're living in luxury, right?
Not at all. They mentioned still having this old, rattly fridge, the shower pressure is mediocre, and the hallway apparently smells faintly like someone's grandma's couch.
Oh.
But you know what? It's home.
It's home. So wrapping this up, what does this glitch in the system, as they called it, truly reveal? About maybe the hidden vulnerabilities in urban property management, the fragility of just keeping records straight, and these surprising ways that, I guess, opportunity can just arise from sheer administrative mess-ups.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it, what other systemic cracks might be out there, just waiting for someone to stumble upon them accidentally or otherwise. It's a fascinating question to leave our listeners with.
My husband thinks we're renting our apartment, but I've actually owned it for years.
Okay, try to picture this. It's almost unbelievable, right? You're living with your spouse, you split the rent each month, maybe you even complain about the landlord sometimes, and you're both saving up, trying hard to buy your own place someday.
Right, the classic dream.
Except, here's the twist. Your spouse. They actually own the apartment you're in, outright. And they have for years.
Wow, yeah, it sounds straight out of a sitcom, honestly. But this exact thing happened. It was a huge Reddit post from user Coffee and Taxes 92.
Exactly. So we're doing a deep dive into that post. My husband thinks we're renting our apartment, but I have actually owned it for years. And our mission, really, is to figure out how this small omission at the start just snowballed. How did it become this nearly 4-year-long secret within a marriage?
It's fascinating. And we need to look at the practical side, the sheer absurdity, but also, the emotional stuff underneath.
Definitely. So let's start at the beginning. How did she even come to own this place? It was a Brooklyn condo, right?
Yeah, Brooklyn. And she didn't secretly buy it or anything like that. She actually inherited it.
Oh, okay. You heard from family.
From her grandmother. And here's where it gets kind of smart financially. Grandma also had a house in Staten Island.
Right.
So the Reddit poster, she sold the Staten Island house and used all that money to completely pay off the mortgage on the Brooklyn condo.
Wow. So completely paid off.
Completely. Zero mortgage. Which meant, by the time she met Mark, her husband, her only real costs were things like building maintenance fees and property taxes, not rent, not a mortgage payment.
Okay, that context is crucial. So how did the deception, I guess, actually begin? Was it planned?
Not really, no. It seems much more accidental, almost mundane. When they were dating, she just said she had a nice place.
Vague.
Very vague. She never elaborated. He just sort of assumed she was renting it.
And she just didn't correct him.
Exactly. She didn't correct him. And it became this, she put it, tiny, weird, unspoken thing. Just stuck.
So it starts small. But then he moves in. How does it keep it going? I mean, surely things must have come up.
Oh, constantly. But always in these really casual ways. He'd say things like, our landlord seems chill because, they never heard from them.
Because the landlord was her.
Right. Or he'd say, maybe we should try and negotiate the rent next year. And she's just sitting there thinking, buddy, I am the landlord.
Oh, my God. She just had to play along.
Had to play along, nodding, agreeing, while internally juggling this bizarre reality.
So let's talk about the money then. He was paying rent, right? Or his share.
Well, yes. They split what they called rent. Every month, he'd transfer his half into her account.
And she used that for?
For the building fees, the property taxes, sure. But she also admitted sometimes, it went towards other things like fancy cheese or car repairs.
That's not cheese.
But here's a key point. The amount he was paying as his half of the rent. It was actually way less than the market rate for a similar place in Brooklyn.
So without knowing it, he was actually getting a massive discount.
A huge discount, yeah. He was benefiting financially from this secret arrangement.
The irony is just, wow. Okay, was there ever a moment where it almost blew up? A close call?
There was one big one she mentioned. They were relaxing, watching HGTV, house hunting shows.
Oh, no. I can see where this is going.
Exactly. Mark turns to her, all earnest, and says something like he just can't wait until they save enough to buy our own place and stop paying someone else's mortgage.
Oof. How did she react?
She said she literally choked on her tea, called it her stomach drop moment, realizing, oh my God, I've built an entire marriage on a lie so mundane it could be a bad sitcom plot.
Did she confess then?
No. She apparently just laughed it off awkwardly. But inside, you can imagine, the conflict was probably immense.
Yeah, I bet. It's more than just the practical side, isn't it? It's the feeling of being deceitful.
Absolutely. She felt deceitful, even though she knew he was technically benefiting. The core fear wasn't really about him demanding ownership or anything like that.
Oh, what was it then?
It was the sheer embarrassment, her word, of just admitting, I just never corrected him, ever, for years.
That's surprisingly relatable in a weird way. The social awkwardness trap.
Totally. She even mentioned worrying about her friends finding out and just roasting her to hell and back.
She had this great analogy for it, didn't she? About houseplants.
Yes, it was perfect. She said, small lies are like houseplants. They start tiny, easy to manage, and then suddenly they're taking up half the living room and you have no idea how to get rid of them without causing a scene.
That really paints a picture, a tiny seed of not correcting someone. And suddenly it's this massive, unmanageable thing in the middle of your life.
Exactly. It shows how easily something small can metastasize, define huge parts of a relationship without anyone quite meaning it to.
So let's just quickly recap this deep dive. We have a guy living with his wife who he thinks is his co-renter.
Right. His wife/landlord, basically.
They're splitting rent, talking about their non-existent landlord, saving up for a home
that they technically already own, or, well, that she owns. It's just such an absurd situation born from, essentially, silence.
It really is. And while this story is pretty unique, kind of extreme.
It does make you think, doesn't it? It brings up a broader question for all of us, maybe.
Which is?
Well, think about it. What seemingly minor omission, or maybe just an assumption you never corrected, what tiny thing in your own life might be quietly growing, turning into a significant, unaddressed truth in one of your important relationships.
That's definitely something to ponder. A quiet houseplant taking over the room.
How I got my boss fired just by following his own instructions.
Ever found yourself really stuck with a micromanaging boss, just wishing there was some kind of secret strategy?
Or maybe wondered how, just strictly following the rules could lead to some really surprising results.
Well, we're diving deep into this pretty wild account from Reddit. It's from Furpereven.
Oh, yeah. What's the title?
It's called How I Got My Boss Fired Just by Following His Own Instructions.
Classic.
Okay, I'm intrigued already.
So our mission here is to unpack this real-world strategy. See how someone navigated a tough spot and look at the sort of unexpected power of literal compliance.
Following instructions to the letter sounds simple, but clearly not always.
Exactly. Okay, let's unpack this incredible story and see what nuggets of wisdom we can find for you.
All right, let's get into it.
So we meet the original poster, You Coffee Addict 92. They're 27, working at a mid-sized marketing firm in Chicago.
Okay.
They describe the place as having this sort of fake, cool startup vibe, but really just the usual corporate issues underneath. Yeah, heard that one before. Lots of ping pong tables, not enough direction.
Pretty much. And our narrator, they just wanted to, keep their head down, do their work. A familiar feeling, I think, for many.
Absolutely, just trying to get through the day. So enter the boss.
Enter Rick, the boss.
Right.
And the description is just perfect. A walking LinkedIn cliche.
Oh no, that guy.
Right. Obsessed with synergy and accountability, but predictably prone to sending these vague, overly complicated emails.
Yeah, and blaming others when things inevitably went sideways.
Bingo. Often blaming our narrator, in fact.
Of course.
So Rick decides he's working on a big picture strategy translation, according to the narrator. He's going golfing.
Naturally. So he dumps his work on someone else.
Exactly. Hands off all his, quote, annoying compliance and client communication tasks to our narrator.
Uh-oh. Setting the stage here.
And here's the crucial instruction. Rick says, verbatim, anything I forward to you, just reply exactly as I tell you to.
Wow.
No adding your own spin, no changing my wording. Follow my instructions to the letter.
He actually said to the letter.
He did. And the narrators thought, all right, fine. You want me to be a robot? I'll be a robot.
It's kind of fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah.
His whole push for accountability and sticking to his exact words, well, it basically handed the narrator the rope.
It really did. He inadvertently set the stage for his own downfall. It's like a masterclass in unintended consequences.
You think he genuinely believed this was good management? This level of control?
I think it's that micromanaging blind spot, you know? They think absolute control prevents errors, but they forget their own judgment might be the flaw. And when someone follows flawed instructions perfectly...
Yeah, it magnifies the original mistake. You can't blame the robot then.
Exactly. And that moment arrived about 2 weeks later. Rick forwards an urgent email. One of the company's biggest clients, like 25% of their annual revenue big.
Whoa! Okay. High stakes. What was the issue?
They were, quote, pissed. Apparently been ignored for 3 weeks asking for updated campaign analytics.
Ouch. 3 weeks is an eternity for a client waiting on data.
Totally. And Rick includes a draft response for the narrator to send.
Now let me guess.
Yeah.
It wasn't exactly apologetic.
Apologetic. The narrator called it insane. It blamed the client for not providing sufficient guidance.
No way.
Yeah. Accused them of constantly changing priorities and even had this, snide line about meeting expectations.
That's career suicide to send to a major client.
Absolutely bonkers. But the narrator remembers Rick's exact words. Reply exactly as I tell you to. No adding your own spin.
Oh, no changing my wording.
This is good.
So what did they do?
They sent it, word for word.
Word for word became the perfect robot Rick demanded.
Okay, wow. The sheer audacity of that email, but also the perfect compliance.
Right. Here's where it gets really interesting.
I bet. So the fallout must have been immediate.
Within 4 hours, the narrator says, all hell broke loose.
You figured.
The client went nuclear, threatened to pull the contract, demanded a meeting with senior leadership. The works.
Sounds about right. Rick must have been panicking. You'd think. So they have this meeting. Senior leadership, Rick, the narrator. And what's Rick's first move?
I'll guess. Blames the narrator.
Throws him straight under the bus. Claim they'd taken liberties, misrepresented his position. The usual.
Unbelievable. But predictable.
But then, the defining moment, our narrator, cool as anything, just pulls out their phone.
Gets the receipts.
Opens Rick's original forwarded email. And reads his explicit instruction aloud. Reply exactly as I tell you to. No adding your own spin, no changing my wording.
Oh, mic drop.
The narrator described the silence in the room as chef's kiss. You can just picture it.
Absolutely. The look on Rick's face, the penny dropping for senior management, perfect.
So the outcome. 2 days later, Rick was invited to take unpaid leave.
Invited.
And a week after that, he was gone. Officially termed a mutual separation.
Mm-hmm. Of course. And the client?
The client actually stayed, partly the narrator thinks, because they like them. The narrator had apologized profusely, sent the actual analytics right away.
Good move. Damage control.
And get this, the narrator even got a bonus for retention efforts.
That's brilliant. And a new, hopefully competent boss.
Yep. Got a competent new boss, too. So a pretty satisfying ending for them.
Definitely. It's a great story on its own, but connecting it to the bigger picture. This really asks a question, doesn't it? In a world of complex, sometimes vague instructions, when does just strictly following them become the most powerful response? Maybe even the most ethical one?
That's a great point. It wasn't just revenge, though it was filed under pro-revenge. It was about accountability. By following the flawed instructions perfectly, the narrator forced the real issue to the surface.
Exactly. Micromanagers often thrive on that ambiguity, right? It lets them shift blame. But literal compliance, it removes the wiggle room. It points right back to the source.
It strips away the deniability. You said do X, I did exactly X, and X was a disaster, therefore.
The problem was X. And the person who ordered X. Clarity through compliance.
So, recapping this deep dive. It really shows the surprising power of literal compliance, especially when you're in a frustrating or, let's face it, dysfunctional work environment.
Yeah, sometimes just following the instructions exactly as given is the most effective way to communicate the problem, even if it has unintended consequences for the person who gave them.
So what does this all mean for you listening? Well, next time you get instructions that seem clear, but maybe potentially problematic.
Yeah, just pause and consider. Is there an opportunity hidden in those exact words? An opportunity for clarity, for accountability?
Or maybe even, a quiet moment of triumph. It's definitely something to think about. What stands out to you most about this strategy?
TIFU by beating the casino and getting banned for life.
We're here to cut through the noise and get you straight to the heart of a story.
Mm-hmm.
And while we're digging into a pretty wild Reddit thread, someone claimed they actually beat a casino.
Yeah, but there was a price. A surprising one.
Exactly.
And what's really fascinating here, the core conflict, I think, is this incredibly fine line. Is it a lucky streak? Is it skill? Or did you just, overstay your welcome?
Right, because it's a private place at the end of the day.
Precisely. This story is more than just gambling. It's really a stark lesson in how powerful institutions, how they define and enforce their own rules, especially when their bottom line feels threatened. Legality doesn't always seem to be the main point for them. So our mission really is to unpack the exact sequence of events. How did this person end up with a lifetime ban? And what does that tell us about the house's, let's say, unspoken rules?
Okay, let's get into it. The story centers on this Reddit user, Blackjack Burrito 77. He says he's just a regular guy from Sacramento. And he recounts this weekend trip he took to Reno to a mid-tier casino. He kind of hints rhymes with Flaming Toe.
Ooh, okay.
He went with his friend Jake. Now, this Jake character, he apparently had a system for blackjack.
Which turned out to be
good old-fashioned card counting, yeah. And Jake kept insisting, apparently quite strongly, it's not illegal, just frowned upon.
Okay, and this Jake, this immediately sets a certain tone, doesn't it?
How so?
Well, the Post mentions this is the same Jake who got himself banned from a bowling alley for trying to, and I quote, improve the lane slope with pennies.
Oh, wow. Okay, pennies.
Yeah. So right away you get this feeling. Playful mischief, maybe, but definitely potential for trouble.
Definitely.
And about Jake's system card counting, just for context, isn't cheating like hiding cards up your sleeve or anything. It's a mental strategy.
Right, tracking the cards.
Exactly. Tracking the ratio of high cards to low cards left in the deck. It lets players guess, basically, when the odds might just slightly tip in their favor.
A small edge.
A fleeting statistical edge against the casino's built-in advantage. So yeah, this not illegal, just frowned upon thing, as we'll see, it escalates pretty fast.
And it really did.
Yeah.
Because Blackjack Burrito 77, our narrator, he says he didn't even really intend to try Jake's system seriously.
Oh, really?
Nope. He just wanted to, drink some cheap whiskey, soak up the casino vibe. But then he just started winning.
Huh. Almost by accident.
Sort of sounds like it. And winning a lot. He said it wasn't just the money, though, being up $2,300 was obviously nice.
Sure. That's significant.
It was the thrill, the feeling, he said, of knowing or thinking he knew what card was coming next. He started making these big $200 bets, feeling like some kind of legend.
The invincibility feeling.
Totally. And this is where it takes a turn. He admits he got cocky. He just didn't quit when he was ahead.
And that right there raises such an important point about, the psychology of it all. Gambling, risk. Casinos are brilliantly designed, for you to feel that rush, to get comfortable, maybe even feel a bit invincible, like you said. But the second you actually pose a consistent statistical threat to their profit, that crucial house edge.
Yeah, the edge.
That guarantees their profit margin, that's when their sophisticated surveillance kicks in. Security systems, analytics.
It's not just eyeballs anymore.
Oh, not at all.
Yeah.
That's often AI-driven stuff now. Detecting unusual betting patterns, win rates that are way outside the statistical norm, even subtle player behaviors. They flag anyone who deviates too much from just, random luck.
So that floor manager who eventually came over.
Yeah, the one who sidled up to him. He wasn't there to offer a free buffet. He was there because the system had basically sounded an alarm.
Okay, so the casino was definitely watching him ride this wave. What happened then when they decided enough was enough?
Well, the conclusion, according to the Post, was swift. Very swift. He gets escorted to a back office.
The dreaded back office.
Exactly. And they accused him directly. Card counting. He tried to joke his way out of it, apparently said something about being devastatingly handsome.
Didn't work, I'm guessing.
Stone-faced response, apparently. Now, they didn't take his winnings, the $2,300, and because, importantly, there were no actual cheating devices involved.
Ah, okay. That's key.
But they escorted him straight out, slapped him with a trespass warning, and, yeah, a lifetime ban.
Wow, lifetime.
Lifetime. He said it fundamentally changed his, quote, favorite bad weekend hobbies.
I bet.
And look, this isn't just some, quirky little story. It's a perfect case study, really, of a much bigger system.
How so?
This outcome shows how individual actions connect to these wider implications in the casino world. Casinos, especially in places like Nevada, they have these networks, sometimes informal, sometimes formal agencies like the Griffin Agency. They share info about banned players.
So getting banned in one place
can effectively blacklist you from multiple casinos. One ban can easily spiral. The main takeaway from Blackjack Burrito 727's post was crystal clear. He wrote, "You can beat the house once, but the house is petty as hell and they have better security footage than the Pentagon."
You can almost picture it, right? Him feeling on top of the world, then bam, shut on the door permanently. Mm-hmm. So thinking about this deep dive, what does it really tell us about those unseen power dynamics between just one person and these huge institutions?
Yeah.
How far can you actually push the rules, even the unwritten ones, before they just push back hard? What really stands out to you about the house always seeming to get the last word in the end?
Thanks for being with us.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.